Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and today I'm doing a full solo playthrough of Storyfold Wildwoods. In Storyfold Wildwoods, you play as Luma, a girl with an old bear companion named Brahm. Together, they are the protectors of the forest. In the prologue, we learned Luma has nightmares of a growing darkness. Some sort of evil, shadowy force is corrupting the land, and Luma must now journey into the forest to spread her light and dispel the night. In Chapter 1, Howls in the Wind, Luma is greeted by a shadow wolf encircled in scarlet smoke. Brahm roars and scares it back into the forest, but Luma is shaken. On this page, we're told how to set up the game. Now let me point out, I am skipping the prologue. I suggest you go through that. It's just a really nice and easy way to learn the game. It goes step by step through the rules. But don't worry, I'll teach all of that as we go through Chapter 1. So we need to set out the Luma and Brahm card, as well as the Brahm card on its Protect side. We then take the 4 action cards and then we put them in this order: Light, Help, Explore, and Heal. We place the Spirit marker all the way to the left. We have our 3 types of tokens here, and then we have our 5 D8s. These are going to start in the used dice space. We then took the Chapter 1 deck, we placed it here, we placed the 3 shadow cards next to it in order. We then took the 18 explore cards and the 8 creature cards. We had to shuffle the creature deck, and then we're told to flip the page to the next scene, Addergate. We're going to be progressing through various scenes. So right now we're in scene 3, Addergate, and it's telling us to set up the scene by placing our 2 markers here. The light marker goes all the way to the left, and the shadow marker goes all the way to the right. We're told to find the Hope card out of the Explore deck and place it down here as a boon, which I've already done. And then we just shuffle up the Explore deck. We then search the Story deck for 2 Adder cards. We activate the On Play action, which says End of the River. This line of cards down here is known as the river, and so we just place each one at the end. We then need to draw the first shadow card. And we get Fear. What if the shadow takes me? What if I end up all alone? Once again, we activate the On Play ability, and it shows that we need to lose 2 spirit. That's easy enough. And there we go. That's setup complete. We're ready to begin. Our goal is to progress to the next scene. And in order to do that, we need to resolve the location that has the Wildwoods icon. In this case, we need to investigate this mysterious deer. Now, there's a few things we need to do before we can resolve this location. First, because it's the Wildwood icon location, we need to have our light marker all the way to the middle on this Wildwoods track. I'll explain how we do that in just a minute. The second thing we need to do is, because there's this line here with this arrow connecting it to this location, that means we first have to resolve this location before we can resolve that one. We're trying to do all of that before the shadow marker reaches the center. Now, each round has 2 phases. We have the Luma phase and the Shadow phase. At the start of the Luma phase, we get all of our dice back. We're now going to use these dice in order to take the actions that are here in the river. We have 4 action cards: Light, Help, Explore, and Heal, and each one of these cards has 2 different actions that we could take. I'll explain the actions as I use them. So I think first things first, I'd like to use a light action. And I'd like to use the top light action, which is to light 1 creature. We have 2 creatures that we could light. We have these 2 adders here. And on the bottom left of the card, you can see they have a red dot and a yellow dot. The number of yellow dots is the number of successes that we need to roll in order to successfully light that creature. In this case, we only need 1 success, so I think I'm going to take 2 dice. I could take any number of dice I want, but I'm choosing to roll 2. And in order to roll a success, we just look up here and it shows a 3+. So the difficulty of the check is based on the location of the card in the river. All I need is a 3 or higher on one of these dice, and I'll be successful. Oh my goodness. There's something about the camera. It just... Every time I turn on the camera, this sort of thing happens. So that would be a failure, but we do have this card here. We have this boon that we started with, this hope. It says that when used, we can re-roll any number of dice and then discard the card. So let's use that to re-roll this so we don't fail right out of the gate. Okay, well, 3 out of the 4 rolls were 1s, but we did manage a 6, so that is 1 success, and that is all we needed to successfully light this adder. Now, to be clear, I had to target one of them, so I'll just go ahead and target this one that's furthest out. So when you successfully light a creature, you just put a stun marker on them. That basically means that when they get to attack, instead, we'll just remove that stun marker. We would also place that creature at the end of the river, but they're already at the end of the river, so that's fine. These dice we use go into the used dice pile, and now we clean up the river. And all that means is that we take the card that we used to do the action, and we move it to the end of the river, and then everything slides up. As you can see, now that light's at the end of the river, we can't take that action. We'll have to do some other actions and have it move up. All right, we have 3 dice left, and we can keep taking actions as long as we have dice. The easiest action for us to take is this help, and what the top action there lets us do is to resolve one of these 2 locations. You can see it has that color at the top, so we could do a search if we wanted to using this help, and that would let us draw 3 explore cards and choose one to keep, discarding the rest. Or we could use this fetch, which would let us swap the positions of 2 cards in our river. Now you can see down here, because of these dots, the search would require 1 success, but the fetch would require 2. Instead, we could use this explore action in order to resolve this location, this pass. Again, it's sort of color-coded. The problem with taking that action is that we were going to lose 2 spirit for each adder that's in our river if we do that. So right now we would lose 4 spirit if we took this action. The last action we could take is heal. That would let us heal a creature. And when you heal a creature, again, you look at the red dot, it would only require 1 success, and then you get to remove that creature from the river. So that would be nice. It would be nice to get rid of this adder here. Unfortunately, the heal is at the 5+, so we'd have to roll a 5+ in order to get a success. Now, if we rolled all 3 of our dice, we could probably do it. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Let's give it a shot. So we're going to go for this heal. Again, we're taking the top action. We just need 1 of these dice to be a 5 or more. Ooh, look at that roll. We're getting our 1s and our 8s out early. That's 3 successes. Again, I was targeting this adder here, and we have now healed it. And we get a little reward, which is shown on the bottom right. We get a crystal. Now, when you gain a crystal, you need to place it on one of your action cards. I'm going to place it on my Explore card. And each card can hold up to 3 crystals. We can spin these crystals in various ways, but the main way is that you can spin them as successes when you take an action. So as long as you get at least 1 success, you can spend extra crystals to get additional successes. That might help us when we're trying to do this pass, which needs 2 successes, and this investigate, which needs 3. All right, so we've used up all of our dice, and that's the end of the Luma phase. Oh, but of course, first I have to clean up. So this goes to the back, and then everything fills in. Slide everything over. At the start of the shadow phase, all of the creatures in our river activate, and you do them just going left to right. We only have 1 creature, and that's this 1 adder. Normally it would activate and it would hit us for whatever the spirit cost is up there in the upper right. In this case, it would do like 2 damage to us, 2 spirit damage. But because we stunned it, instead we just removed the stun token. We then have to resolve its after activation ability. For the adder, it just returns to the end of the river. Then you just move the shadow token 1 to the left. Some of these positions have little marks above them, as you can see. And it shows up here what those marks represent. Fortunately for us, there wasn't one right now, but next round, we'll have that little eyeball, which means that we'll have to draw another creature and bring it out into the river. This little squiggly mark here means that we'll draw an explore card. If it's a boon, we'll discard it, but if it's a bane, a bad thing, then we'll activate it. And that's it. That's the end of the shadow phase. We go back to the Luma phase, we get all 5 of our dice back, and now we can take our actions again. And we're just going to keep doing that back and forth until either we succeed and we manage to move on to the next scene by, again, activating that location, or we'll fail and the shadow will prevail if this marker reaches the middle before we've done that. Either way, we look to the top of the page here and it will show us what happens if we either succeed or fail. It doesn't necessarily mean game over just because you fail. It means that the next scene will probably be harder. I think let's go ahead and just do this help action and we'll do a search. We can use 2 dice. This could be very useful. We just need a 3 or more. Okay, excellent. We got the 1 success that we needed, so we can draw 3 explore cards, and then we'll choose 1 to keep. Oh wow, they're all boons. That's nice. This would give us 2 crystals. This would let us move an action card into the 3 space. And I think we'll just take Bliss because this will let us choose one of the boons that's in the discard and get that one. So when we need to use it, we can decide which one we want. In fact, we could even grab Hope again. Now, I haven't mentioned it, but we do have another ability here because our Brahm card is on the Protect side. This lets us use any crystal that's on any of our action cards in order to light a creature. If we did that, we would then have to flip the card and put it over to our Care side. On this side, we can spend 2 crystals off of our action cards in order to get to Spirit. And then once again, it would flip back to its Protect side. Now that we've completed this action here, we have to put one of these little markers on to show that we've done that. And we can't do it again. And then once again, this goes to the end. So now we have a choice. We could once again attempt to heal this adder, get it out of here, so then we can do this pass action. That seems like a good idea. Yeah, what the heck? Let's try that again. It worked so well last time. And we'll use our 3 dice. Just need a 5 or greater. Ooh, and we got it. Bam. This thing's gone. We get a crystal, and we can place it on any card. I'm going to put it on the Explore. This goes to the back. Add a dice, so the Luma phase is done. We go to the Shadow phase. There are no creatures to activate, but this moves. It goes onto that eye space, which means we have to draw a creature. Okay, we got a Cray, or Cry. Cray-eye. Not sure how to pronounce that. But it says on play, it just goes to the end of the river. Now we're back to the Luma phase, and now we can take this pass action because we don't have those adders around. So we'll do an Explore, and we only need 2 successes, and I do have these crystals, so I'm just going to roll 2 dice. In order to use the crystals, we need to get at least 1 success, but we just need a 3 or more. That's a little bit of a risk. Okay, whew, we got it. In fact, we got 2 successes from the dice, so that's great. We can pass, which means we can now go do this investigate. Now keep in mind, we're going to slide this over, and those crystals are going to stay on that action card. It moves with the card. Now we just need to get this light, right? Before we can investigate, this light token has to be in the middle. So we're going to use the second ability on this light card, the bottom ability. When we do this, we can, for each success, we can advance the light. So let's go ahead and roll all 3. Hopefully we can get 3 successes. Whoops. Let me re-roll that. Hey, there we go. 3 successes. 1, 2, 3. Very close now. Unfortunately, this bird is going to hit us. It's going to do 1 spirit damage. And then it has an after activation, move 1 space forward. So it's going to move 1 space forward. So that is a little bit of a nuisance, isn't it? We then push that forward, and we need to draw an explore card. If it's a boon, we'll discard it. If it's a bane, we'll activate it. Oh, and it is a bane. It's sting. We lose 2 spirit and then discard the card. Oh, that's unfortunate. But now we're back to our turn, and we have a little bit of a problem here because we need to light. And right now the light is unusable. So I think this is where we spend our bliss. This lets us take a boon from the discard and keep it. And so we'll take insight. And then we'll go ahead and use insight. That's going to let us move any action to the 3 spot. We'll move the light over. Everything just moves down. And now we can activate the light. We only need 2 more. And so, we should roll at least 3 dice because we don't want to fail this. I wonder if we just want to roll all of the dice to make sure we get it, because if we don't, we'll be in trouble. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to roll all 5 just to make sure. Okay. A little overkill there. 1, 2. We got it. That goes to the end. We're going to take the spirit hit. So that's 1. Then it moves to the front. This moves up, and we're going to get another creature. Okay, that's a catter. Cater? Oh, are you kidding me? On play, it moves into the 4th position. Ooh, this is bad. We need to do this explore action, but it's off the board. Well, we get our dice. I think we're going to have to use this. So we'll have Brahm light up this guy by using one of our crystals. That's going to send them to the back. And stun them. Which means we have to flip them to the care side. And now we can explore. So the question we have to ask is, do we just want to explore at the 6+, rolling all the dice? We have 1 crystal, which means we need to get 2 successes on the die. Instead, we could try to fetch using this help, or we could even use help's bottom action, which is for each success, you just gain a crystal. We could put the crystals on there, and then it would move to the 5 position. Could even try rolling just once with the help. Just 1 die. Is it better to do 5 rolls at 6+? Or is it better to do 4 rolls at 5+? That's some math that I really can't handle. What the heck? Let's just go for it. We're going to roll all 5. We're going to do our explore. We need 2 of these to be 6 or more. Oh, we did it. We got a 6 and we got a 7. And then we can spin this crystal to be our 3rd success. That's the 3 successes that we needed. We actually gain 2 crystals. Ooh, and I have no idea where to put these. I'll put these on the... I'll put 1 on the light and 1 on the explore. When you gain multiple crystals, you can split them up. And then it says to draw story card number 1, which is right here. Guardian. Luma ran towards the deer, only to watch as it vanished into a funnel of leaves and shadow. She plucked a leaf from the air, and it sparked another vision. The majestic creature valiantly warding off a pack of wolves, defending the young woman and her infant child from the shadow. All right, on play, we're going to search the chapter deck for Nightmare. Then we're going to take the top 2 cards of the creature deck, shuffle these 3 cards together, and then place them face down on top of the creature deck. Okay, so we just grab Nightmare. Oh, I'm sorry, Notmare. Two creature cards. Shuffle them. And then on top, Luma Prevails. It says that if you resolve the investigate location, we then travel to scene 4. So when you travel, you want to take the creatures that are in your river. You're going to remove them. Put them in the creature discard. We then clean up the river, which means just everything. Oh, and explore should have gone to the back because that was the last thing we do. Then we move everything forward. Just like that. We're going to remove all these markers from the scene. And then we just turn the page to the next scene. In this case, Willow Creek. Once again, it shows us how to set up the scene. We place our markers. In this case, we have to take out some specific creatures. The Wildvark and the Flatterrat. We resolve their on play in order. So the Wildvark is going into the 6+. The Flatterrat's going to the end, but it has a little thing on it that says, while it's out, we cannot spend crystals. That's annoying. Can also discard this Guardian. And here you can see we have to first wade, then hide, and then we can go to rescue. Now, I think the last thing I haven't explained is that when your spirit gets all the way down and past this end, you're going to bring it back to the beginning, and then you're going to draw a shadow card. If you draw the last shadow card, then you lose. Now, because of our Luma and Braum card here, when we're about to draw the last card, we can actually place Braum there on top. So that gives us a little bit of a reprieve. That's another way that you can lose the whole thing, is if you draw that last shadow card. And so that's why you have to keep your spirit high. Now, one way of doing that is by taking a heal action and using the lower ability, because that would let you gain a spirit for every success. The last action is the bottom action on the Explore, which lets you, for every success, draw an Explore card, and then you get to pick one to keep. So those are basically the 8 actions, and you're just going to go through and try to get through all the scenes. And I think that's where I'm going to end it right now because I don't want to spoil the rest of the story. Altogether, there are 5 chapters with multiple scenes. Each chapter has its own deck, and so there's just a ton to explore. There's also a great save system, and it even comes with its own plastic insert. So if you have to pack it up in the middle of a chapter, that's no problem. You can just place everything into that insert, and then it's really easy to bring it back out to the table. What the heck, let me just show you how to pack it up if you want to save the game. As you can see, there's some cards here that actually increase the challenge of the game. So if you're finding it too easy, or if you're playing through a second time, you can add those in. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to place the discard piles on top of their respective decks. So the Shadow discard pile, the Explore discard pile, and the Creature discard pile. You then want to take your Luma and Braum card, your Braum card, and if you had any boons, you would take those as well and put those face up on top of the Story deck. You can then just place your Shadow deck, Chapter deck, Explore deck, and Creature deck right in there. This bottom area is for your river. So we just put our help here, our heal, and because there's a crystal here on our light card, we just put it in the well. We can put it right there. Now, I actually put out the creatures first, so, you know, you could just put those at the bottom of the chapter deck, but I'm just going to put them like this for now. And then we got that one there. And then there's a space here so you can record how much spirit you have. So our spirit is in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you are. You can just close this up. And then in the box itself, has a place for all the chapters. So you have your prologue, chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then on the side here, put your dice. You can see there's some extra dice here that come with the game, which are for later chapters, I assume. And then we have a space for tokens. I would actually put these 2 tokens maybe here. And maybe place those over there, and then we can put these in here. This goes right on top. And there you go. You can actually tuck the book like that to save the exact chapter that you're on. And there we go. We are ready to go for the next time that we want to bring it out and play, even in the middle of a chapter. So there you go. That was the very beginning of Storyfold Wildwoods. I'd like to thank all the financial supporters of Totally Tabled, including the Totally Radical Dr. Casey, Hextra, Mitch Fisher, John Kohler, Scott Myers, and Jay Satterwhite, as well as the Totally Bodacious Connie Womack. If you're interested in becoming a member, you can join on YouTube or my Patreon at www.patreon.com/totallytabled. You'll gain access to my new exclusive podcast, Table Talk, as well as unboxing videos and whatever extra stuff I come up with. As always, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.